Greetings, guys. It's Brian over at NuTech Cleaning Systems in the ObserveX Consulting Group. This is video number 4, and we're in our segment about planning. In the last videos, we talked about planning and setting goals and a train of thought on setting goals. Today, we're going to be talking about marketing, which is going to drift into sales a little bit, which will be our next video, but we're going to talk about marketing very specifically. In any business, small or large, sales drive everything, which is this part of it here. Drives everything. Everything you want to do in your business, you need the money. The only way you get the money is through sales. But how do we get those sales? Most companies make the biggest mistake in the world, myself included. When I started my business, I didn't know what I know today, and I didn't have the mentors holding my hand like I wish that I would have. So I did these things all backwards, like most small businesses do. They want this, but they don't have a plan for this to get them to this. So we're going to talk about this real specifically. So marketing. What do we do in marketing to get sales? People run newspaper ads. Maybe they use the internet through their websites. Maybe they pass out flyers. Maybe they just do word of mouth, do excellent work and try to get all word of mouth. It's a harder way to do it, but it is a good, solid way to do it. However, they don't really have a sales and marketing plan that's going to take them from here to here. Where they make their first mistake, people think, oh, my first mistake was I ran newspaper ads. They didn't work at all. It's true. In most service businesses, they just don't work very well. However, that's not the problem. It's not that they ran the wrong medium or the wrong medias to try to get where they were trying to go. Where they made their mistake with marketing was the amount of energy, not to be confused with dollars. Energy would be, I was at a party, I talked to 10 people, I happened to mention what I did. That's energy. We spent energy, talking to someone, letting them know what we did. Maybe we created, out of the 10 people we talked to, maybe we created a couple friends, a couple new customers, right? So that is energy. Energy might be, oh, I passed out tons of flyers. I passed out 4,000 flyers in the last month. Well, that's a lot of energy, not a lot of cost, but it's a lot of energy, okay? Same thing with being consistent with business cards. For those of you who know the story, there's a story about Mr. Girardi, who worked for General Motors from, I think it was 1963 to 1978. He sold over 13,000 cars in Michigan, I believe it was. And he was actually fired from a dealership because some of the salespeople were so jealous of this guy and how many cars he sold and how aggressive he was that he drove the management crazy, and they let him go, and he went off to the next dealership. And this guy ended up, he actually was in the Guinness Book of World Records for how many sales he did. And if I remember the story correctly, the number one thing he did is every party he went to, he couldn't even walk through the grocery store without handing somebody a business card. When his boss had gotten him 1,000 business cards or whatever it was, they couldn't believe 2 days later he was out of cards. But that's how much energy he put into the marketing. The business cards probably cost, back then, probably cost $10. But he was able to develop huge amounts of business through the amount of energy, treating people right, relationship building, which is a whole nother series we're going to be doing, but through his energy of this. So what is that energy number? People have asked me, well, Brian, how much marketing should I be doing? I mean, I'm out working every day. I'm out doing the work every day. How do I have extra time and money to do this marketing, right? Most guys who do work don't even know how to market. They can't afford a marketing firm. They don't know how to market. They don't know any part of that. Well, in today's day, we're very fortunate. There's things like YouTube, the internet. There's lots of things we can get ideas from, and we can kind of switch it into our own, make it our own way. And I encourage you guys to do that. The magic number that I tell people, the goal number that you want to get to is 70-30. And people go, whoa, 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 wait a minute. So you only want me to do 30% production and 70% market energy? I don't have time. There's no way. I'm in the truck. I'm doing this and this and this. It's a goal. It's a goal. Some of the most successful companies on the planet, that's a rough number that they use, is around 70%. Whether it's media marketing, whether it's talking to people, whether it's creating plans within their employees to do cross-selling, which we'll talk about in another video. There's all kinds of ways to create marketing energy, okay? It is so, so important that you strive. Most guys look at me and they laugh when I tell them that, and they say, God, I don't even think I do 3% or 5%. You probably don't, and that's okay. Almost every small business in the country, that's where they're at. That's why we have, after 10 years, such a high 66% failure rate, because they just don't understand, and that's okay. So now you have a chance to understand this. So if you were doing 3% last year, don't try to do 70% the next year. That'll kill you. So why don't you try to do 10 or 15% the next year? Whether it's spending money on your internet sites, whether it's be careful and don't be afraid of it. For any of you who need information on really specific marketing, don't ever be afraid to call us, 800-435-5868. I'm always happy to talk to people about marketing. When I look back at our business model from the early, 25 years back, I've already stepped in every pothole you can think of. You guys don't need to. You can call me and I can say, holy cow, don't do that because it's going to hurt you, but try this or this or this. I'm happy to help anyone out there that wants help with their marketing. But what I'm going to tell you is there are some really good things you should look at. We're going to talk about websites in a different video, but you could build the nicest website in the world and you're so proud of it and it looks awesome. But if you are not working on that website every single week, every single day, Google sees it less and less and less, and pretty soon your site's still beautiful. Doesn't matter. No one sees it anyway because of the way their algorithms work. So we can talk about that too. But you need to put energy. Energy could be against the beautiful website you already have, adding something to it. Every time we add something to it, Google's algorithms catch that something's changed. They deem it as newer information. Thus, you're more likely to raise in the rankings versus tank and eventually disappear. I forget what the exact number is, but I think it's after a year or so. If you haven't made any changes to your website, it doesn't even show up anymore unless you type in the URL. So that's a terrible way to waste energy instead of build on that energy. So when you change your marketing, what you're going to find is this is going to start to develop, and it's going to work. It's going to be consistent. Another thing with marketing where people make mistakes is they go, cool, we're going to have these meetings now that Brian's talked about. We're going to build this marketing, and we're going to do this. And you know what happens is we get busy. Something hits. Something good hits. You get really, really busy. So you and your guys and your girls, you're all working and working and working. And guess what nobody's doing? Nobody is doing this because they say, oh, I'm so busy. I couldn't do this. Then what happens is when they're done with their busy spell, they're dead. They're slow. There was no energy in this. Thus, all the money that they killed themselves and paid the overtime for and all those things now goes right down the toilet because they stopped marketing. Marketing is about consistency. Whatever you decide to do in your marketing, it has to be consistent. You cannot put a coupon plan together for your customers, try it for 3 or 4 months, and you don't see any return, and you go, oh, it doesn't work, I'm not doing it anymore. If that's the way you're going to market, you're absolutely guaranteed to fail every single time. Marketing is about consistency. It's about those crazy coupon packs you get in the mail. If you're going to do those, I'm not a big fan of those, but if you're going to do those and they work good in your area, so be it. But you need to be in them every month of the year. And yes, 99% of them are going to get thrown in the garbage. But when that one customer needs their carpets cleaned or needs their whatever you do, maybe needs a plumber or a heating and cooling person, whatever, they're going to grab that coupon if it comes on, if it hits on the right days and they know it's there because they're used to seeing it, they're going to grab it, okay? But it's about consistency. One of the largest carpet cleaners in the country is right here in Michigan, and they are known for their consistency. A lot of cleaners hate on them kind of because they grab up so much business and they have so many trucks. But the reality is the owners were very smart in the sense that they created very consistent marketing, and their name is known across the state no matter where you go. That's about consistency. So within that, we're going to stop here on this, but the next part of our video series, we're going to tie these two very closely together, and we're really going to talk about this part of it falling into this part, falling into this part, and we're going to come to the sales part of it. How are we creating sales? Then we're going to move into staffing because to have more sales, you need staff to do the work. And then we're going to talk about managing and maintaining staff and the people that make these pieces all stick together. You can have all these pieces individually, but you've got to have the meeting and the consistent planning to hold all these things together and to drive forward to create your sales. So with that, I'm going to end this saying thanks for watching. I highly encourage part 1, 2, 3. This is number 4. And shortly, within a few days, we'll have number 5 out as well. So thanks for watching. Our website is www.shopnutech.com, ShopNutech.com. Thanks for watching.